Hey, Decide Your Destiny crew, Kyle Spirides here. Thanks for joining me for another Decide Your Destiny Daily Dose. Decide to take a few steps back, size it up, and then leap forward. I was chatting to a friend yesterday, a friend in the US, and we were talking about, he's a fellow creative, and we're talking about how to manage overwhelm and, when projects get dumped on you all at once and, you've got many things that you're juggling at the same time and trying to manage overwhelm. And he said he was reading this book and he found this great line. And it went something like, maybe what you're struggling with is not overwhelm, but your shitty processes. So, it's a bit harsh, it's a bit, tough. But, the book was basically just saying that you could be so overwhelmed because so many of your processes could be outdated, or maybe your processes didn't really grow with you. As you developed different skills, as you developed different sort of workload, maybe your processes did not develop with you, so you're still doing processes that are taking you extra time. So sometimes, I'm a big believer of just getting stuck in and just doing it, because you will learn and you'll figure out a lot of things along the way, and you can start growing, and the greatest lessons you learn is from experience. But sometimes you just have to take a step back, and especially if you've been hammering out a project for a little while. For me personally, just did the first rough draft for this book, and I'm having to look at, okay, I didn't outline as specifically as I would have liked to the first time around. I did these huge mind maps, went overboard with these gigantic mind maps, but I didn't outline fully. And so I'm now looking back at different blogs, different resources, some of the course material, different sort of things that I can look at to kind of figure out what's the best way that I can actually organize and then initiate writing the second rough draft. So the first one was just, hammer it, get it out, get stuck in, put in the work, put in the time, as that passion's coming through, which can come through if you're painting, if you're, crafting something, whatever you're doing, that passion can come straight in, with the camera, you go out and you start shooting, and you just start shooting because you just are inspired to shoot. You're not sure what you're shooting, but you're, or what your main intention is, or what the end goal is necessarily, but you're just inspired to start shooting. And, I think that's one of the things that photography really taught me, to kind of get stuck in straight away, to go for it, which is really, really exciting. And, same thing with sort of sports, but with writing this rough draft and then going for the second draft, it's taught me that, okay, I really need to step back. And it's reminded me of some uni days and some of my studying times. Basically, it's reminded me of times where you've had to step back and reevaluate, kind of like looking over it all and going, all right, what's the next best step that I can make? Okay, let me look at how to outline. Let me look at some examples of books that are like this. Let me look at this structuring the first few chapters, and then you can go from there. I know a web developer that does a really great job of this. She sits down with her clients, and this is a good point, because we live in a day where very short attention spans, or information is flying at us, and it's a day of it's the time of the one-day websites, or the one-day businesses up for one day, and maybe not there the next. It's very, very fast-paced world, so if you want longevity, if you want to stick at it, it's really important to develop those processes and keep developing those processes, because at some point you're going to feel overwhelmed, and you're going to go, well, man, if I had some better processes, I'd still be going, I'd still be doing this, and it would be sustained success, which is the goal. You want sustained success, you want to keep doing it. So this web developer, she has this fantastic thing that she does. She gets these post-it notes, and she basically gets a whole bunch of post-it notes, and she as she's speaking with the client and talking through about the website that they want to get done, she writes out the post-it notes, and she puts them, whether they're on a table or on a board or something like that, she lays them out. And it's just such a great visual way of stepping back, taking a few steps back, rather than just jumping straight into the website, jumping straight into, all right, let's start designing, what do we need to do, what do we need to get started with. She takes a few steps back, looking overboard, and maybe the client has got, 50 notepads or 60 notepads. I think she said some astronomical number was the record, but they've got so many different sticky notes, so many different sticky notes, not notepads. She's got so many different sticky notes, and then the client's trying to put more in there, and she's going, wait, hold on a minute, we need to take some away, because you're kind of diluting the point. You're missing the message. You're wanting to have a website that does these 5 main things, or a website that shows off these 3 categories. But with 50 sticky notes, with 50 different tabs, you're going to lose someone who's coming and viewing that website. So I think that's another great example of just taking a few steps back before you get stuck in, taking a little, an overlook, and kind of assessing what's going on. When you're playing sports on the sports field, whether they call in for a time break or halftime. Halftime's a great point. I played a lot of rugby, and halftime was where you really, the coaches, the greatest coaches that I had, were the ones who really allowed you to step back and kind of allowed you to get out of the, I've got to, hit that guy who's, I've got to tackle that guy who's causing us, causing our line a lot of mayhem, or I've got to, just get stuck in. The coach was able to help you pull out of it and see, hey, if you hit the fly half first, or if you two crowd the number 9, the half back, then he's going to fumble the ball because he's not as confident as he's seeming. And you're looking at different strategies, different ways that you can actually, execute the play, different ways that you can actually execute the shot that you're trying to take. Whether that's in business, whether that's writing a book, whether that's in the sports field. It's really important sometimes just to take a few steps back and look at your processes. You can do this in your training. You can do this in all sorts of things. So guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know some of the ways that you've reevaluated your processes, some of the things that you've done, that have helped you, or different strategies that you've taken in different areas of success that you're looking for in your life. And give us a like, share it around. If you know someone who's just kind of like myself, who just gets stuck in, who just puts their head down and just gets absolutely stuck in, which is great, but sometimes needs to just take a step back and reevaluate and have a look at if they could, initiate better, or if they could take action in a better way. Anyway, guys, as always, remember, decide your destiny. Cheers.